Is our buddy Chip Caray on the line? He is. Chip is on the old Zoom with us, and we always enjoy talking to the TV voice of the Cardinals on FanDuel Midwest. He's actually working today, not working like his regular job, but he's moving into a new residence, and he is. Oh, look at that! He's getting ready to get the new house going. How you doing, brother?
Oh, it's great. Wayfair's terrific.
There you go.
That's all I got to say.
Okay,
good interview.
Before we start, though, are you a handyman? Are you?
Yeah,
are
I can
you
put.
like-
Yeah. I got no problem putting stuff together. I think when the ultimate demise of America comes, it'll be from plastic packaging, though. I've come to find that out. The hermetically sealed things that you get that are packaged not once, not twice, but 3 times is really, really an amazing thing. When we try to reduce recyclables and we have 3 cardboard boxes surrounded by styrofoam on a plastic package, I don't get that. But I'm going to be enjoying that here for the next couple of hours.
Okay, Chip, I'm with 3 youngsters here in the studio, but was there anything more difficult or unnecessary than the wrapping for a CD?
Yeah, dumb.
Remember
Totally
that?
Yeah, stupid. It's like, you put a rotary phone in front of these young whippersnappers. They have no idea how to make a call. And if you say the numbers 33 1/3, 45 and 78, what's the common theme? They have no idea what we're talking about. They missed out on so much.
They did. And when we would buy compact discs, the way that they were packaged, unless you had like a really sharp knife or a scissors, you couldn't open it with your fingers.
Yeah,
It was unbelievable how tightly those were wrapped.
They really made you want to listen to that music. So, good times had by all.
Yeah. All right. Let's start with Miles Mikolas last night. What an impressive performance.
Yeah, he was great. He was terrific. Changed speeds, pitched backwards. Didn't have trouble with 2 strikes. He got soft contact at people, contact that was soft yet hard enough to get a lot of ground ball outs. I think he had 10 of them. He had some traffic that wasn't his fault. He pitched out of that by and large. So we said it on the broadcast. It's really rare in this day and age of Major League Baseball to have a 9-inning game where you only use 2 pitchers. That was kind of refreshing and fun. And that really sets up the Cardinals bullpen for the final 2 games of this series. And a lot of that credit certainly goes to the man that started, Miles Mikolas. He needed that kind of game, and we certainly did.
Yeah, Chip, and you mentioned the bullpen. Last night it was Kyle Leahy continuing to do what he does, which is pitch in a variety of roles, and he's your bulk man and your closer, essentially, last night for the Cardinals. But it's not just been him. That since the trade deadline where you traded away some of your key components of that pen, guys like Jojo Romero, Matt Swanson, we've seen Riley O'Brien step into new roles. What's impressed you about the consternation of, oh man, you're really losing some key pieces, but then seeing the way that some of these other guys have stepped up into their new roles? He did not like the question.
Oh, we're working on it. He'll be back in just a second.
He's on the move. We can see that.
Yeah, so we will make that work. But I think what'll be interesting here is to see whether or not Ollie Marmol and Dusty Blake decide on like a 6th, a 7th, 8th, and 9th. Like
right,
we didn't have, but like everybody talks about that old HDH Herrera, Wade Davis, Holland bullpen in 2015 for the Royals. I'm intrigued to see if the Cardinals before the end of this year decide on a closer. And Chip is back. So Brendan was asking about the bullpen situation, and you just heard what I said. Do you think that this is going to be on audition, or do you think there's a chance that they could pick guys to have roles as we head down the stretch here?
I think it's going to be a little bit of both. I think it's going to be an experiment. I think Ollie has been very clear about that. And sorry about that. I don't have Wi-Fi set up yet. That's something else that I really get to look forward to today. So if I'm in a grumpy mood during the game, you'll know why. No, I think this is going to be a fun challenge for Ollie. You mentioned, in the days where you had Helsley and you had Romero and you had Maton. Okay, that's pretty rote baseball, right? When you have the lead, you play the matchups, lefty, righty, for the 7th inning. You've got Maytown if it's a righty lane for the 8th, and then you got Helsley for the 9th. We only have one left-hander in the bullpen. So, Ollie's going to have to find guys that can get opposite-handed hitters out. And I think that that's going to be one of the challenges and one of the fun things that he's going to experiment with. And I think to your point, I think what's been really fun about what we've seen so far from this group is there's been no drop-off since the Cardinals unloaded the veterans in their bullpen. In fact, I think you can make the case they've actually pitched better. Guys like Riley O'Brien have stepped up and taken on that role. We know about Kyle Leahy, I think is going to be a starter in the major leagues, but for now is the bulk guy. And I think a lot of what you'll see tonight from Liberatore is going to determine what Leahy's role is going to be the rest of the way as the Cardinals try to monitor his and everybody else's workload. But the guys that have come out of that pen are throwing strikes. They're throwing hard. They're getting swing and miss. And as we know, that's what plays in postseason baseball. The stat that was eye-popping for me that I saw the other day is 52% of all postseason innings last year were pitched by relief pitchers, not by starters. And when those guys come into the game and there's traffic on base, a base runner is a rally. And when you have the ability to get swing and miss and strike out guys and limit contact, you have a great leg up on your opponent. And I think we've seen a lot of evidence of that from these guys that have come in these new roles, taking advantage of the opportunities and making the most of it and giving Ollie some more options that maybe neither he nor our fan base thought he would have after the deadline.
And Chip, I want to ask about one guy that at the beginning of the game last night weren't sure the impact he would have, but Brendan Donovan coming off the bench the way that he did, how impressive was that to you after not playing for a couple of days and knowing the spot of the season the Cardinals are in after 2 really good series wins? You wanted to get that one last night, especially with how Mikolas gave him a chance.
Yeah, absolutely. It was like the old Willis Reed moment, right? He limps onto the court out of the locker room for the Knicks in the NBA Finals. We talked to Ollie before the game, and he said Donnie was going to go through all of his progressions, and if he felt good, he would hope that he would be in the lineup today. But he said yesterday, I would be reluctant to use him. I really don't want to. That was kind of the way Bobby Cox always did things in Atlanta. If a guy says he's good to go and he's cleared by the trainers, he'd always say, one more day. Let's give you one more day. It's not going to kill us. It's not going to do anything but help you. But look, the moment presented itself. And I thought Oliver Marmol managed one hell of a baseball game last night. He managed his bullpen great. He knew that he was short at the end of the game with O'Brien and Romero pitching a lot of innings in previous days. He pulled the right string in getting Donovan up there. He brought in Pozo to pinch hit. Other than a great play by Kyle Karros at third, it's a 2-run game. That ball was a missile. And Karros showed you why he won the minor league Gold Glove at third base for the Rockies organization. That was one hell of a play yesterday. But Ollie did a great job. He pinch ran in the right spots. He sacrificed a little defense for the chance to get more runs. And 1 run was enough. And so that was just a fun baseball game. It was well played, well managed. And using Donovan in that spot was uncharacteristic. But boy, did he need that hit, and boy, did the Cardinals need that hit. Because look, like it or not, and I think we all like it, we're 3 games out in the wild card. We're a half game behind the Reds. Every game matters a lot more now. And when you're playing a team like the Rockies that are struggling so mightily, the teams like that, if you don't beat them, those are the ones you look back and say, that's why we missed the playoffs. You got to beat Colorado. You can't afford to lose this series. You've won game 1. You need to win game 2, and then you get greedy and try to sweep them and get set for the Yankees coming up this weekend. So it's a great series, a great homestand of opportunity for the Cardinals, and really love the way they took advantage of it last night in all facets.
Hey, Chip, we've been talking this morning about the defense of Nolan Gorman, and granted, he has not had a lot of reps at third base, and Ollie is going to handle this in a certain way. How much have you talked to Ollie about the defense of Gorman at third and how that is utilized going forward?
Well, we know that Nolan, when he's right, can hit with anybody. What we don't know is how well he can play consistently defensively at third base. 4 errors in 8 days in August isn't going to feed the Bulldog. That's not good enough. He'd be the first to tell you that. What's surprising me is it's his throws. He's kind of like aiming the baseball to first, in my opinion, and that's cost him a couple of errors. We got to find out. I mean, this is all part of that runway term that we all have grown to hate over the course of the 2025 season, but we got to know, can this guy play third base? He's going to be there, I think, exclusively. I don't think you're going to see him play second base for the Cardinals until Arenado comes back, and he's still at least a week and a half, 2 weeks away for St. Louis. So he's going to get every opportunity, all the runway, all the road that he needs to show that he can play every day at third base. And a lot of that's going to be footwork. A lot of that's going to be conditioning. A lot of that's going to be how his back holds up. And more importantly, it's going to be performance, because 2 errors last night, certainly uncharacteristic. And that's not what we've come to grow accustomed to seeing on the left side of this Cardinals infield.
And for him, 249 games in the majors, 31 starts at third base. So as we mentioned, it's not like he has a lot of time over there. And I would think,
Right.
Chip, as the game slows down for him, last night I thought it was just happening too fast with the bad throw. And I wonder if the game slows down, if he'll be better.
Yeah, I hope so. And then you hope that the Steve Sax syndrome doesn't kick in, like, oh God,
Mhm.
I got to be perfect with my throw, all that. So, I mean, there's so much more to it that plays into it than just the throw itself. Look, Gorman's going to be a terrific player, but like anybody else, anytime you do it more, you're supposed to get good at it. The old 10,000-hour thing that Malcolm Gladwell talked about all the time, and I really believe that's going to be true for Gorman. It'll be true for just about anybody that gets a chance to play. He's going to have 2 weeks to play over there. He's going to have 2 weeks to show what he can do on all sides of the baseball. And I think we all have a great deal of confidence that he's going to get it done. Last night wasn't his best game defensively, but that's the beauty of baseball. Cardinals still won the game, and you wipe the slate clean and start anew tonight.
Chip, the atmosphere we saw with the Cubs in town over the weekend was a blast. And obviously you want to take care of the Rockies here, but how much is folks on the outside, the players have to focus on the game tonight, but can we look forward a little bit to what this weekend against the Yankees might look like, especially if the Cardinals roll in with some more victories on their backs?
Yeah, hope it's a big crowd. Hope people show up. Tickets are reasonably priced. There's $20 tickets from what I understand this weekend for the Yankees. We're going to have the Friday night party, as we always do. Look, anytime the Cardinals and Yankees get together, the two premier franchises as far as world titles are concerned in Major League Baseball, it's a big event. This town appreciates history. They appreciate the lore, and I'm sure when the Cardinals and Yankees get together, we're going to be thinking about Bob Gibson and Mike Shannon and Lou Brock and all of that. That's what makes it fun, and I think this team has done an amazing job this year, I think, of filtering out the outside noise. This Cardinal club doesn't get affected by how few or how many people are in the ballpark. They don't get concerned with how big or how little their lead is or the deficit is in a game. They just go pitch by pitch, play by play, inning by inning, and game by game. And for a young team to be able to do that, I think is a reflection of Ollie. The temptation is, to look ahead to the Yankees and have a little bit of a letdown after the Cubs series. Cardinals made their own energy last night, and they're going to have to do that for 2 more nights. And to win a game like that last night, I think was really important. You lose that one, you're really, really feeling bad. Coming back, after the great series against the Cubs. So the way that the Cardinals won, the way that they played last night, I think gives us a great deal of hope against 2 tough left-handed pitchers coming up for Colorado these next 2 days. And we know the Cardinals have had their issues against lefties. So they're going to have to grind, but that's the nature of this team with 40-odd games left. That's what they've done all year. And I would be shocked if they laid an egg these next 2 days against Colorado.
Hey, Chip, I know that you really like watching young players and young teams grow up, and you did that in Atlanta. And because I wasn't there and you were, are there any common denominators? And if there's not, just say it. Are any common denominators between the young Braves team that grew up and won a World Series and this Cardinal team?
There are some. I mean, we're starting to see the pipeline of young pitching that Atlanta had get here in St. Louis. They made some very tough trades. They traded Justin Upton, they traded Craig Kimbrell, and got Max Fried back, who turned into, a Cy Young candidate and a big-time playoff starter. One thing that the Braves had that I think we're missing a little more of than just Nolan Arenado is the guy that I think will go down and should go down, in my humble opinion, as one of the most influential Braves of all time was Nick Markakis. The Braves signed him from Baltimore. He had a neck injury, and they weren't sure if he was going to be ready to go opening day. He was about 70% on opening day against the Marlins in his first year with the Braves, and provided the game-winning hit on opening day, and really set the tone and taught Dansby Swanson and Freddie Freeman and guys like that how to play, what it meant to be a big leaguer, the grind, the leading by example. And, oh, by the way, leading by just giving you that look where if you don't straighten up, I'm going to kill you, as the bells toll for me. That's something that I think is really, really valuable. And I think that's something I would like to see the Cardinals get a little more of. This is a young team. They're building their own culture, but having that guy with the back of a bubblegum card to really show these guys what it's all about, I think is something that I hope Chaim Bloom goes after in the offseason. And I think it would be a really, really helpful thing. But you're right, Randy, there are some parallels. Both organizations lived and died with player development. That's what they did. The Braves drafted and developed usually homegrown high school pitching and had the time to get those guys to the major league. So we're in a bit of a different scenario, but as we know, if you pitch, you have a chance to win. If you don't, you don't. And the way the Cardinals pitched last night, I think, is proof positive of that statement. Hopefully we'll see more of that the rest of the way.
All right, Chip, before we let you go, you brought up Steve Sachs, and one of my all-time favorite stories is about a former Cardinal, Pedro Guerrero, who was not a good defensive third baseman. And he makes an error one time. Lasorda's got him in the post-game meeting, got the whole team, and he says, Pete, what are you thinking out there? And Guerrero says, I'm thinking two things. And he says, Lasorda says, what's the first thing? He said, God, don't hit the ball to me. And Lasorda says, what's the second thing? He says, God, don't hit the ball to Sachs.
Yes, exactly right. And the whole locker room broke up, and it broke the tension, and it got Steve Sachs and the Dodgers going. Look, I think fans, I hope fans understand how hard this game is to play. And it's really easy sitting up where we sit to say, oh, what an easy. Harry used to say that all the time, and it drove me nuts. There are no easy plays in this game. It's really, really tough. And it's really, really tough to do it at 24, 25 years old on the fly, where you're trying to just survive at the major league level. The fact that this team and these guys are doing that, and this team's around 500, I think is a testament to their talent. It's a testament to the coaching staff that Ollie's put together. It's a testament to what Ollie has done and how patient he has been in understanding the process. And I'm really excited about the future here, and I hope our fans are too. We're not used to this in St. Louis. We're not used to these 500 kind of seasons. It's tough. It's not easy. It's hard to win one game, much less a championship. But come grow with us. Come build with us. Come cheer these guys on, because I promise you, they are giving you everything they've got every single day. And I think this is a group of guys that our fans should be, I hope, are proud of. I know I am. And I really, really enjoy watching them grow, watching them play. And I can't wait to see where their very bright and promising futures take them, and all of us by extension.
Hey, stay hydrated out there, Chip.
Yeah, thanks, Henry. Do you want to see the boxes? Hold on. Let me see if I can do this.
Yeah.
Let me show you what I
want
get to put
Yeah,
together.
this
here.
is great.
Oh, yeah, this is great. Oh, it's terrific.
Wayfair,
Yeah.
I think last time you were on with us, you told us that you'd spent like a week's pay on Amazon. So now Wayfair's getting some of the carry check.
Here you go. You ready? You ready?
Yep, ready.
There they are.
Holy Toledo.
So if I'm late, you'll know why.
Thanks,
and the guys
man.
didn't even take it in the house for me. They wouldn't even do that.
Yeah, they want you to carry that yourself.
Yeah,
I'll
well,
come
I mean,
over.
I'm a
I'll come over
strapping
to
young
the
lad.
store.
I can do that, but it's like, what are we doing? Come on, I'm 60 years old. I can't carry this stuff by myself. So pray for me. And if you hear yelling and screaming from Soulard, you know who it is.
All right, Chip.
See you
We'll talk to
guys.
you later. Thanks.
Okay,
Thanks for coming on.
bye.
You're the best.